Hi everyone. Are you a student who want to know about the things you're going to do after graduating, or you don't really know how it feels like to graduate from the University of Chichester? The career department has come up with a podcast called The Next Rung. It's a podcast where we interview alumni of the University of Chichester to ask them about their career paths, what they are doing, how the university have helped them get to where they are. So if you're just a student, you're in the right place. Today we're going to be interviewing um, James Wright, who is a business management student, ex-business management student of the University of Chichester, and he's now interesting, a cattle farmer, and he's also a manager. And today with me, I have.
Yeah, I'm Joe. I'm a third year student, a degree apprentice on the Chartered Management degree. So James, could you tell us a bit more about your current role and the path that you've kind of taken to get there?
Well, look, I am the definition of failure at Chichester because I actually don't think I ever got my degree. So in my last year, I started a company. I bought two pigs with my student loan and became a pig farmer. And I got so distracted, I didn't have my dissertation in until a year after I left. And I never went to my graduation. So I have no idea if I've got a degree.
Yeah, graduate or not, okay.
Yeah, but I was at Chichester from 2010 till 2014, and I had a great time. And I now am a beef and sheep farmer on Exmoor in Devon with my wife and three children. And then because there isn't a lot of money in farming, and because I saw all the problems there was in this industry, I helped start a company called Multibox, and we did insect farming using insects to convert food waste into animal feed. We sold that, and then I've moved on to a company called Breedr. I've been here 6 years, and I look after the UK and the EU. And simply what Breedr does, we're like Auto Trader for livestock, and we help farmers be more productive and profitable. So I've had quite a lucky career since leaving Chichester.
Great. So why farming?
Well, look, I mean, everyone needs to eat. So it's a recession-proof industry. I'll never not have a job. Look, it's a brilliant lifestyle. I mean, I was very fortunate. I've been feeding the cows and moved the sheep this morning, and then I can come in and I'll be working at my desk until sort of, at bedtime, put the kids to bed tonight, and then I'll be back out doing some more stuff on the farm. So, it's recession-proof and it's a great lifestyle.
Okay. So what are some of the best things about your job and maybe some of the challenges?
Well, I mean, we employed 45 people, 32 of them in the UK, and everyone works remote, so everyone is fully sort of spread out. So, we run sort of fully remote office, and I think that's really good for the staff, because everyone gets to maximise the amount of time that they're working. There's no commute, there's no cost of commute. They can work anywhere. So if you can't afford a house in London, you can fly somewhere on the edge of Bristol. That's one of the best things about working at Breedr is that everyone gets to do that from home. But we get to solve complex challenges every day. No day is the same. Every challenge is different, and we get to work with some of the world's most exciting farming businesses in getting them to use our software and to become more productive and profitable. So yeah, no 2 days the same.
Okay. So business management, we have modules like finance for managers, management organization. Do you think, or do you feel like everything you learned as a business management student at the University of Chichester equipped you with the knowledge, or have you actually implemented any knowledge you learned at uni to your business?
Yeah, I mean, even the CV writing workshop. I remember we did a lesson on writing CVs. Those skills are some I use today as a manager to read people's CVs and go, well, actually, this is what I think, I want to learn about this person. and particularly things like marketing. We had a brilliant marketing lecturer, a lady called Jenny White, and there are things that I still think about today that I learned, now over 10 years ago, that I use every day. So yeah, absolutely. It doesn't then mean that everything you learn at university is useful, but I don't think it's meant to be. I think you take the experiences as well. And the friends I made whilst at university, we are in a WhatsApp group. We still talk every day, and they will now have their own careers, and we cross-pollinate. So, a friend of mine is head of digital marketing at Vodafone UK, and the stuff that he does in his day to day is absolutely fascinating for somebody like me. And we talk about what he learns and what I learn. So yeah, it's not just the lessons; it's also the relationships you build up along the way as well.
Thank you. We've got a question from an academic member of staff. So it's, what advice would you give someone who wants to work for themselves and also has a dream of becoming a farmer like yourself?
Well, I mean, the first is to take a risk, right? If you want to start your own business, just do it. I mean, I bought 2 pigs with my student loan, started a hog roast company, sold direct into Brighton, restaurants and that sort of thing. And after a while, I convinced NatWest to lend me some money. I told them I had a kitchen I wanted to do up in a house that didn't exist, and they gave me an unsecured loan for £20,000, and I bought 300 seats. Just if you've got an idea, take a risk, right? Just take a risk. Life is short. Just if you've got an idea, give it a punt. Don't spend a lot of money. Just give it a go. So that's the first thing. The next thing is you've got to have self-discipline, because when you're working for yourself, there is no one else who is going to determine your success other than how much work you are willing to put into it. So if you've really, really got to put in the hours, 1 second, we'll just shout at
the farmer.
Yeah.
The sheepdog, the sheepdog. And that's the next thing. And the first thing is, if you want to get into farming, I am the first farmer in my family for over 100 years. My grandfather was in the RAF, and my other grandfather was a fisherman. But there's not been a farmer in my family for over 100 years. If you really want to be a farmer and you're not from farming stock, that's not a barrier. You can become a farmer. But there are different ways into the industry. You can do what I did, which is that very high intensive input, and then pigs, and then sheep, which was low input. And now we've been lucky enough to buy our own farm as well as renting some land. But you can also go and work in farming. There is a huge need for people with brains who can, not just operate a tractor, but also think around problems as well. Farming's become more technical. So if you get to the end of your degree and you think, gosh, I really want to be a farmer, just go and get a job. Drop me an email. I'll find you somewhere. And they're desperate for people who work hard and they've got a bit of a brain.
Okay.
Great. So tell us, what are the most challenging things about your job?
Oh, and not enough hours in the day. I mean, simply, if you wanted to, you could work from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. So I think that there are literally, when you're in a startup like Breedr, there are always more problems to fix than there is time. So you've got to prioritize. And the second thing is that starting a business is very cash flow intensive. So a cow born on my farm this spring will take 2 years before it has a calf. That calf then is another 18 months before you're able to sell it. So it's a many multi-thousand-pound investment before you actually get some cash back out. So the first is not enough time. The second is not enough cash. That seems to be the perennial problem for most businesses. So it's nothing unique. And then, just on it, Breedr has opened up in America. We opened up in America a couple of years ago, and that business has gone really well. But finding, people who understand farming and get technology and get business is also really difficult. So there's sort of a Venn diagram of people who sort of can talk to a farmer, can do technology and then also understand what it is to sell someone something and support it. That is a really niche group of people. So in terms of business, actually finding those people is hard work.
Thank you. Have there been any points in your career journey where you've considered switching paths? And if so, what pulled you away or kept you on your current career path? That's a question from a student.
Oh, perennially. You sort of get imposter syndrome. You think, oh gosh, I can't be doing this. And yeah, I've been some really dark days on the farm as well. Where you think about that, dark days on the startup where you think, gosh, this is never going to work. I thought about all sorts. Thought about in a moment of madness joining the Navy or something and giving it all up. But no, I mean, what keeps coming back is that we are lucky. We've got a brilliant team of incredibly bright, hardworking people. And generally, when you find a problem, once you've got everyone's brain power on it, you find a way through it. So that's the other thing: is surround yourself with people who like challenges, aren't afraid of a challenge. And then, I remember last Monday we had this long-term project, and it's not going to work kind of thing. And you go and talk to a few people, and they go, no, this is how we can do it. So yeah, I think just keep at it. It's I have thought about changing careers, but yeah, people pull you back in.
It's great to see you have that very optimistic mindset, and you keep going and going and going. So previously you said if you're looking for a job, you said something about a job previously. So there's a question actually from a student who said, do you offer any job opportunity in your company at the moment?
Not unless you want to move to America. Unfortunately, we're pretty full here. But actually, having said that, if you're a software developer, get in touch.
There's another question from a student. So they asked if you did a placement or any business related work experience, and if so, what was it, and have you learned any skills that could be transferred? So I think any other kind of related business work experience that you've then transferred into the farming industry.
Yeah, look, I've always worked alongside everything. I think that's the other thing as well is that you've just got to be relentless and put in the hours. So even whilst I was at university, I worked as a doorman. I worked as helping us a venue in Chichester who need people to help set up and set down at the end of events. It's all money at the end of the day. In my summers I worked at festivals doing sort of event safety and things like that. You just literally you've got time, trade that time for money, invest that money. If you want to succeed in life, that is ultimately the way to do it. And the earlier you start, the easier you'll find life as you get on. I did do a placement. I worked for a charity in Chichester for a year, which was a brilliant experience. I learned a lot about not only sort of the legals around like finances and stuff, but also a lot about how to build teams and relationships where maybe your goals aren't aligned. So like working with a charity, one of the projects we had was like a police liaison thing. Obviously the police's goals were very different from the charity's goals, but actually how do you then build a project that works together as well? So that was a really good experience. But yeah, just if you find that every Saturday morning you have 4 hours free, find some takeaway that needs a delivery driver. Do you know what I mean? Just go and put in those hours, because you'll leave university with less debt. You'll leave. It's just trade that time for money.
Okay, great. That's a very great advice. And so, with all the knowledge you have today, if you were to take back the hands of time, would you have gone for a degree, or would you have preferred going for an apprenticeship role?
Yeah, so I think about this a lot. I don't think I would have gone to university. If I could roll back the clock, I wouldn't have gone to university. But I have no regrets about having gone for the reasons that we discussed. I use the knowledge that I've learned a lot, and the skills and the friendships. I would have built. I mean, and the other thing is I met my wife through someone I knew through university. So, like I can't, and I've got 3 lovely kids. So you can't go, oh, I regret going to university. It's not that. But I think if I could go back in time, I probably would have gone. I probably would have used that money in those years to do something else. But that's not to say that you shouldn't go, because it opens up a whole different opportunities.
Okay. Thank you.
In terms of connections, apart from your romantic connections with your wife, did you ever make any connection in university that is, useful to you today?
Oh, well, I mean, my best man and godfather of my children, and they're coming to stay with us on Wednesday. So, I mean, absolutely. And I mean, it's lecturers, I still get messages on LinkedIn from lecturers. I mean, stuff like this. It's great to be able to chat to you guys and give something back to the university. And it's really good that you've got the new science campus at Bognor Regis. I mean, just the university itself has an enormous amount of history of Bognor Regis and the area as well. So it's very positive.
And I suppose last sort of question is around what are your next kind of career steps or ambitions?
We've expanded quite a lot on the farm in the last year. We bought this farm and we rent a load of land as well. So I think it's just about stabilising that, making that business work really efficiently. And then on Breedr, the sky's the limit. Who knows? It's a really exciting time to be involved, and there's a lot to do, but a lot of opportunity as well. So we will crack on. We will crack on. But no, I mean, it's just the opportunity is what you make of it in life. I think sometimes we can be very down and out, and be very sort of think to ourselves, the world's against me, but actually, you make your own luck, and have as many irons in the fire as possible, because you will find that 5 of them don't work, but that one leads to glory. I mean, I would not have met Ian, who started Breedr, if I had not been involved in Multibox. We didn't make very much money from Multibox, but it led to the opportunity to be involved in Breedr, and now that's a company that functions around the world. So really, your own, it is luck, but you make your own luck. And cliche, but entirely true.
Okay.
So, if you were to describe your whole journey in one word, what would that one word be?
Lucky.
Lucky. Okay.
Yeah. But you make your own luck. You do. I mean, I just to reiterate, I never would have ended up where I am today if I had not met Ian. I never would have met Ian if I hadn't started Multibox. I never would have started Multibox if I hadn't bought the 2 pigs for my student loan. I never would have had the confidence to do that had I not done Chichester. So it's sort of the whole thing, your whole life. And when you feel like, you guys come to the end of your degrees, you might be sitting there thinking, I don't know what to do next. Think of 12 things, apply for all of them, put the effort in, and then you'll find one that you really enjoy. And if not, try something else. You're only limited by your own ambition, and you just got to put in those hours, put in that time. And at the end of the day, if you leave Chichester without a degree, as long as you're lucky, it doesn't matter too much. So.
Okay, thank you.
Great. It's very nice to have you here today. Do you have any advice for the students?
No, I mean, other than what I've already said, I don't think so. Make sure you keep in touch with your friends afterwards. We still get together twice a year. We talk every day. In many ways, those are the things that really matter. Is that all right? Did I say the right things? Am I not meant to have said that I didn't actually graduate?
Wow. Okay. He's a very optimistic guy. He's a fighter, and he has like loads of great advices. And All I can say is wow.
Yeah. Very interesting how he's kind of got to where he is. But I think you can, like you say, it's that kind of drive, and kind of keep going, even if it doesn't necessarily align to what you thought you were going to be doing or your kind of like goals, but to kind of keep those options open. I think one of the things that he said that was interesting as well at the end of kind of having, when you're graduating, having like 12 different ideas or kind of as many ideas as you think could be like something of interest, and then kind of go for it and then see kind of what happens from that is quite good advice.
So there's definitely an advice I'm going to implement because wow, having 12 different things or even more, just applying and trying, is it putting the efforts, definitely it's going to yield the result at some point. He's really valuable. It was an absolute pleasure speaking to him today. And also if you actually listen to him, he was more of a fun kind of student, if you can tell. And still he still made a very great career out of everything. And he, has I just wouldn't really ever think of business management and then boom, cattle farming. It's just, you know, different in a way, but then it's, expands your mind on the whole idea of business. There is no limit to it. It's just all your imagination. Wherever you want to take your business to, you can turn anything into a business. And as long as you have the right skills, the right mindset and everything, you will still get through. It's quite very nice, speaking to him today, and
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, I think also it's interesting how he kind of said that from the kind of business background that he had and some of his work experience, but then linking in with some of the stuff that he's now done with farming and also the technical stuff has kind of put him into maybe a better position to be able to do some of those things potentially, but kind of using different experiences and skills to kind of get to where he is. I think the optimism and I think he said luck was probably one of the main things, but but you, like I said, you kind of make your kind of own destiny. So no, really interesting.